Okay, so you've done all the things, journal, meditated, read every self help book on the shelf, but somehow you're still stuck, still spiraling, still second guessing yourself. It's not that you're doing something wrong, it's that mindset work can't heal a soul level wound. If you're feeling that in your chest or like your stomach just dropped a little, it's not random. That's your body recognizing truth. So stick with me. We're going to unpack this in a way that actually makes it land, not just in your mind, but in your entire body. Okay, deep breath. You're not lazy. You're not doing it wrong. You're not broken. You've just been trying to fix something with tools that only scratch the surface. You're smart. You're self aware. You've done the journaling, the meditations, the podcasts, and honestly, some of it helped, right? But lately, it feels like you're circling the same stuff again. You have the breakthrough, and then a week later, it's like you're back in the same emotional place. The awareness is there, but the feelings, the triggers, they won't budge. And that gets so damn frustrating. Like, oh, why is this still coming up? Didn't I already work through this? Believe me, been there, done that. Here's the deal: healing isn't just about changing your thoughts. Trauma and emotional wounding don't live in your thoughts or in your reasoning, they live in your body, they live in your energy field. And when you're healing something that deep, you've got to include your whole self, not just your mind. This isn't just about being more positive. It's about reconnecting with the parts of you that learned survival instead of safety. So, in this episode, I'm going to walk you through what's actually happening when mindset work hits a ceiling, what's going on inside your nervous system, and how somatic and energetic healing create the shift your soul has been craving. Mindset work is a beautiful starting point. It gives you awareness, and that's powerful, but it's only one layer. Let me explain why. When something triggering happens, your logical brain, the part responsible for decision making and self talk, it doesn't actually stay online. Your body flips into survival mode. This is because of your polyvagal nervous system, which determines whether you feel safe or threatened. When it senses danger, even emotional danger, it shifts your body into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And here's what that means: your thinking brain, it literally shuts down. Your body reroutes resources to deal with the threat, even if that threat is just a long text reply or your partner's silence. So when you're like, why can't I just think a better thought? Well, it's because your body is no longer operating logically. It's bracing for impact. You're not using the part of the brain that mindset work targets. Here's an example. I had a client who had been in therapy for years. She could list off all of her attachment patterns. She could recite her triggers like a script, super self aware. But anytime her boyfriend would take a few hours to respond to a text, not days, just a few hours, she would go into a full spiral. Her chest would tighten, she couldn't focus at work, and she'd start obsessively checking his social media to see if he was online. She'd send another text just to check in, even though a part of her knew she was trying to soothe the panic. And then when he would reply, she would feel this wave of relief followed by shame. Like, why am I like this? I know he's not ghosting me. But her body didn't care about what she knew. Her body had never learned that closeness and connection could feel safe. So when distance showed up, even in small ways, her nervous system hit the panic button. And it's not because she was broken, it's just because her body remembered something her mind didn't. And I've been there too. There were times in my relationship when everything was fine on the surface, but one little moment, a pause, or a shift in his tone, and I would be spiraling. I knew it didn't make sense, but it was like something in me just took over. I'd get anxious and panicky, trying to fix the disconnection. And the whole time, there would be this voice in the back of my head saying, "You know better. You teach this stuff." But I couldn't think my way out of it because that response wasn't coming from my thoughts. It was coming from my body. That's what happens when trauma is stored in your nervous system. Mindset work gives you tools, but somatic and energetic healing give you access to actually use them, to regulate enough to even apply what you know. Now, let's get deeper into what's actually happening in the body. Your body holds on to experiences. This is called implicit memory. These are the memories you don't consciously recall, but your nervous system absolutely does. For example, if your parent used to withdraw love when you made a mistake, not yelling, just going quiet, your body may associate silence with danger. So, years later, your partner needing space might send your whole system into a panic. And this is not you being dramatic, that's your implicit memory saying, hey, this feels like that thing from before, and we weren't safe then, so let's protect ourselves now. And the body's version of protection? Anxiety, shutting down, people pleasing, panic, numbness. This is why mindset alone doesn't reach those layers. The trauma isn't stored in your conscious mind, it's stored in your nervous system. That's why we use somatic practices to speak the language of the body. The word somatic literally comes from the Greek word soma, which means body. So when we talk about somatic healing, we're talking about healing through body based awareness and movement, not just mental understanding. Let me give you a personal example. When I just met my now husband, we began as like a situationship, one of those emotionally confusing gray area almost relationships. And every time he wouldn't text me back, I would get physically nauseous, like actually sick to my stomach. I'd pace around my apartment, stare at my phone, and play out worst case scenarios in my head. My roommates would ask what was wrong, and I would try to brush it off, but inside, my body felt like it was under attack. I didn't know it then, but that was anxious attachment. It was my nervous system reliving every time I felt emotionally abandoned growing up. Every time I was left to sit in silence, to figure things out alone, to wonder if I was loved. That's the level it was happening on. So when they say the body keeps the score, that's what they mean. That tightness in your chest, that ache in your stomach, that restlessness in your limbs, those are all somatic cues. That's your body flagging old wounds. And here's the energetic piece. Unresolved trauma also leaves an imprint in your energy field. If you've ever walked into a room and felt tension without anyone saying a word, you felt energy. Your field picks up on unspoken signals. And when you've experienced trauma, especially repeatedly, it can distort your energetic baseline. So you become hyper attuned to rejection, abandonment, criticism, even when it's not actually happening. Somatic and energetic healing work hand in hand. One grounds the experience in the body, and the other clears the residue that lingers in the unseen layers. Together, they help you shift out of the looping survival patterns, the ones that mindset alone can't touch. So, if you felt like, I know better, why can't I do better? This is why. It's not a lack of effort, it's your system asking for a different kind of support. Okay, so let's talk about one of the biggest myths in the healing world, that you can think your way into being okay. I used to believe this too. I really thought if I could just journal enough, reframe enough, affirm hard enough, that I'd finally feel better. I'd finally feel secure. But let me tell you what actually happened. I ended up gaslighting myself into silence. I would feel anxious or activated or heavy with shame, and I would immediately start trying to mindset my way out of it. You're safe now. He's not your dad. You've done so much work. But deep down, my body was not buying it. Because here's the truth no one told me. If your body still believes it's in danger, no amount of positive thinking will override that. In fact, it can actually make things worse because now not only are you activated, but you're ashamed for being activated. Let me paint the picture. There was a night, I'll never forget this, where my husband and I were lying in bed, and he turned away from me to scroll on his phone. That's it. That's all it was. But my body collapsed. I felt this deep, immediate drop in my stomach. My mind started racing. He's mad at me. I did something wrong. He doesn't want me. And here's what's wild: he wasn't mad at all. He was just decompressing after a long day. But my system didn't register tired husband on his phone. It registered emotional withdrawal equals danger. I tried to override it. I tried to remind myself of all the work that I've done, how far I've come, how loving he is. I whispered affirmations in my head like a prayer, but none of it worked. I just felt empty. So, what was happening under the surface? Well, my nervous system was in a dorsal vagal response. This is the freeze state in the polyvagal ladder. It's when your body senses that there's no way to escape, no way to fight, so it shuts down to conserve energy. It's the collapse, the disconnection, the numbing. And it's not a flaw, it's a survival adaptation. This is why talk therapy, journaling, affirmations, they're beautiful tools, but they're working with the top layer of your consciousness. They're using your prefrontal cortex, that part of your brain that handles reasoning and planning. But trauma lives in your limbic system and in your brainstem, the survival parts, the parts that are not logical, the parts that scream, we're not safe, even when your conscious mind knows otherwise. So when someone says, choose a better thought, they're skipping over the entire biological response happening beneath that thought. This is where somatic and energetic healing come in. They help you actually meet yourself where the pain lives, in your body, in your cells, in your energetic field. I had a client once, let's call her Alina, who would completely shut down during conflict, not just mentally, but physically. Her body would go cold. Her throat would tighten. She'd forget what she wanted to say. And afterwards, she'd spiral in shame for not being able to stand up for herself. In our work together, we uncovered that when she was a kid, anytime she expressed anger or disappointment, she was met with emotional withdrawal, sometimes days of the silent treatment. Her system learned speaking up equals being abandoned. No wonder her adult body froze in conflict. It wasn't about the fight, it was about survival. When we approach this through somatic work, gentle movement, breath, titrated expression, her body started to unlearn that reflex. We didn't reframe her way out of it. We gave her body a new experience of safety, a new imprint. Energetically, we also cleared the shame that she had been carrying, the unspoken belief that she was too much or not enough. That energy had been clinging to her aura like static. And once we moved it, she started speaking up more easily, even in high stress moments. Not from force, but from regulation. Because real healing isn't about forcing yourself to be better. It's about creating an internal environment where your system feels safe enough to soften. So, if you've ever found yourself stuck, even after trying all the mindset work in the world, it's not because you're broken. It's because your healing needs to happen deeper than your thoughts. It needs to happen inside your body, in the place where the old wounds still live. Let this be your permission slip to stop pushing, to stop shaming yourself, and to start listening, not just to your thoughts, but to your body's sensations, its cues, its patterns. That's where the healing lives. So let's talk about what healing on a soul level actually looks like. Because I know for a lot of people, that phrase sounds vague, maybe even a little woo, but when I say soul level healing, I'm talking about a process that integrates both the somatic, meaning the body, and the energetic. It's not about just knowing what's wrong or even understanding your trauma logically. It's about clearing the emotional residue, rewiring your nervous system, and realigning your energy so that you can actually feel free. Let's break this down. Somatic healing is about working with the body to release stored trauma. It's based on the understanding that trauma isn't just a memory, it's an experience that gets stuck in your nervous system. Your body learns to brace for danger, to anticipate abandonment, to hold its breath whenever it senses disconnection. And unless we teach the body something new, it'll just keep repeating those responses, even when your mind knows better. Now, somatic comes from the Greek word soma, which means body, and somatic healing can look like a lot of different things: breath work, movement, shaking, sound, orienting to your environment, even something as simple as feeling your feet on the ground and breathing into your belly. That's somatic. You're helping your body come back to the present moment and rewire what safe actually feels like. But here's where it gets deeper and where the energetic piece comes in. Because trauma doesn't just leave a mark on the nervous system, it also leaves imprints in your energy field. You know, those moments where you logically know something isn't true, like I'm not too much or I'm not unlovable, but you still feel it. That's an energetic imprint. It's like an invisible residue clinging to your field. And until you clear that, not just think differently, but move the energy, it will continue to distort how you experience relationships, emotions, and even your sense of self. Let me give you an example. I worked with a client, let's call her Jada, who kept attracting emotionally unavailable partners. She'd done years of therapy. She could name every pattern, every childhood wound, but she told me, it still feels like I have a sign taped to my back that says, I'll settle. In our work together, we uncovered that she had an energetic imprint of chasing love. It came from childhood, growing up with a father who was present physically, but emotionally checked out. Her energy was stuck in this loop of trying to earn attention, and no amount of mindset work could shift it because the frequency she was emitting was, I need to prove I'm worthy. So we combined somatic practices like breath and grounding with energy clearing techniques to release the imprint. And what happened was wild. She didn't just stop attracting unavailable men, she stopped being attracted to them. Her whole frequency shifted. She told me, for the first time, I feel calm around someone who's actually good to me. That's soul level healing. It's not about forcing yourself to be secure. It's about dissolving the patterns that made you feel unsafe in the first place. It's about going beyond logic and into the body, into the energy field, into the places that your trauma lives that you can't always see. So, yes, this work is powerful, but it's also incredibly gentle. You don't have to relive everything to release it. You don't have to push. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to be willing to feel, to notice, to listen, and to trust that your body and your soul know exactly what they need to come back into wholeness. That's the beauty of soul level healing. It's not a performance, it's a return. And once that shift happens, you don't have to keep trying to be the version of you who is healed. You just are. All right, now that we've talked about what soul level healing actually looks like, let's just start bringing that into your body. This first practice is called orienting. It's one of the most simple, powerful, and regulating tools you can use to bring yourself out of a survival state and back into the present moment. So, what is orienting? At its core, orienting is the act of helping your nervous system recognize that you are safe right here, right now. When we're dysregulated, maybe you're feeling anxious, frozen, foggy, maybe you're spiraling out of your mind or totally overwhelmed. What's usually happening is that your nervous system is stuck in a time loop. It's responding to something that reminds it of an old wound or an old danger. And that could be anything. a tone of voice, a facial expression, a missed text. Your nervous system doesn't work through logic, it works through pattern recognition. So, unless you help it reorient to the present, to what's actually true in the here and now, it'll keep bracing for something that's not even happening. So, here's what we're going to do. If you're able to, pause what you're doing and take a seat, or stand if that feels better. You can even do this lying down. First, feel your body. Notice the contact points, your feet on the floor, your back against the chair, your hands resting in your lap. Let yourself notice what's touching what. Can you feel your socks against your skin? The weight of your body pressing down? Maybe you can feel the air on your face. Now, without rushing, begin to look around the space you're in. Let your eyes gently move, not like you're scanning for danger, but like you're taking in a beautiful view. Slowly, with curiosity. Let your eyes land on something neutral, maybe a plant, a lamp, a pillow, and silently name it in your mind. Green plant, round lamp, blue pillow. Let your gaze move again. Pick something else. Name it. You're not trying to judge or analyze it, just notice it, like you're letting your body digest the room. Now tune in. What do you feel in your body right now? Maybe you notice a softening in your shoulders, or that your breath gets a little deeper. Maybe you still feel tension, and that's okay. There's no right outcome. Just noticing is the practice. Let's go a little deeper now. Look for something you like in the room, something that feels comforting, pleasing to the eye. It could be the way the light hits the wall or the texture of your blanket. When you find it, pause there. Take it in. Let your eyes linger on it for a few extra seconds. Now, bring a hand to your chest or your belly, wherever your body wants contact. Let the weight of your hand feel reassuring. And say, either out loud or in your mind, I'm here, I'm safe, this is now. Let's do one more round together. Look to your left, slowly, and notice what's over there. Now to the right. Now look behind you if you can. Let your body see that there's no threat. And then come back to center. Take a deep breath in through the nose and a slow exhale through the mouth. Good. That's it. That's orienting. And here's what's happening behind the scenes. When your eyes move slowly and your attention is anchored in the environment, your ocular nerve sends a signal to your vagus nerve, which is like your body's main switchboard for calm and connection. That signal tells your system we're not in a survival situation anymore. And energetically, orienting pulls your awareness back into the body. It calls your spirit home. If you've ever felt scattered, floaty, or like you're not all here, this is the perfect practice to help you ground. Think of it like calling all the parts of you back. You're reminding your system it's safe to land. It's safe to be in the body. It's safe to soften. You can do this anytime. When you wake up, before a conversation, after a trigger, in the car, while waiting in line. And the more you practice it, the more your body learns what calm feels like, and the easier it becomes to return to that place. You don't have to push through dysregulation. You can just gently invite yourself back into your body, back to regulation. So take another breath, wiggle your toes, feel the support beneath you. You're doing beautifully, and you're right here in this moment with me. Okay, now that we've brought your body into the present moment with orienting, let's shift gears and work with your energy. This practice is an energetic clearing, and it's one of the most powerful ways to reset your field, especially when you're feeling heavy, drained, or like you're carrying emotions that don't even feel like yours. Your energy body holds everything, not just your own feelings and memories, but the energy of people you interact with, old emotional imprints, and even subtle cues your nervous system picked up before your brain had time to make sense of them. And when you don't regularly clear that energy, it builds up, just like physical clutter in a room. And then you start to feel off, like you're not fully in your own frequency. So that's what this practice is for, to help you return to you. Let's begin. Wherever you are, just go ahead and get comfortable. You can sit or lie down, whatever helps you feel supported. Close your eyes if that feels safe, or just soften your gaze. Take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. Again, breathe in and let it go. Now, bring your awareness to the space just a few inches above your head. Imagine a golden light beginning to pour down from that point, like warm sunlight streaming into your field. This golden light knows exactly what to do. It's here to clear, to cleanse, and to release any energy that doesn't belong to you. Let that light slowly move down the top of your head, your forehead, your jaw. Let your face soften. Release the tension in your scalp. Unclench your teeth. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Let your tongue rest gently against the roof of your mouth, just behind your front teeth. Or let it lie relaxed at the bottom of your mouth if that feels better. Let the golden light move into your neck, your shoulders. Feel it melt through any tension. Let it gather up stress, worry, anything you've been carrying that isn't yours. This light moves down into your arms, your chest, your upper back. Let that light sweep through your heart space like a gentle breeze clearing dust off a windowsill. Breathe. Now let it move down into your belly, your hips, your low back. As it travels, imagine it pulling out anything that feels stuck, stagnant. Keep breathing. Let the light move into your thighs, your knees, your calves, and all the way down to your feet. And now imagine that energy, everything that's not yours, everything you're ready to release, flowing down into the earth beneath you. Let the ground receive it. The earth knows how to compost and transmute what you no longer need. Take a moment here. Notice how your body feels. Do you feel a little lighter A little clearer? Now gently place a hand on your heart and another on your belly, and repeat this quietly in your mind. I call my energy back to me now. Any part of me that got scattered, stuck, or drained, I lovingly call it back home. It is safe to return. It is safe to land. Now, imagine your energy field like a soft, glowing bubble around your body, beginning to fill with your essence, your true frequency, the part of you that is wise, grounded, radiant, and whole. Let it expand gently around you. You don't need to force it, just allow it. If it helps, imagine a color that feels like you, maybe a deep indigo, a soft blush, a rich gold. Let that color wash through your field like water filling a bowl. And now say, I am grounded. I am sovereign. I am fully present in my body and in my truth. Let those words settle. Feel them in your bones. Take a few more deep breaths, letting everything integrate. And when you're ready, gently blink your eyes open. Look around the space. Notice where you are. Maybe place a hand on something nearby and name it, just like we did in the last practice. Let yourself fully arrive. You are here. You are home. You are clear. And this practice, you can use it anytime. After a hard conversation, after being in a crowded space, when you feel overwhelmed, or even just as a daily reset. Your energy field is yours, and when you learn how to tend to it, everything in your life begins to shift. Take one more breath with me. Good. This practice actually supports your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of you responsible for rest, digestion, and healing. When you breathe slowly and visualize in this way, you are literally shifting your body into a healing state. Let yourself stay here for a few more breaths. Even a minute or two of this can change your whole day. All right, before we wrap up, I want to give you a few journal prompts to help you process everything we've moved through today. If you're driving or out on a walk or you're at work, no worries. These will be included in the show notes so you can come back to them later. But if you're in a space where you can sit and write right now, I really encourage you to take even just 5 to 10 minutes and reflect on these. Because your healing isn't just about what you know in your mind, it's about what you're willing to meet in yourself. These prompts are designed to help you go deeper, to get curious, and to connect with the parts of you that are finally ready to be seen and heard. So grab your journal or open a note on your phone and feel into these. Where in my life do I keep knowing better, but still feel stuck in the same loop? Think about a specific situation, not just the pattern, but what it actually feels like in your body when it happens. What am I still trying to fix or control with my mind that might actually need to be felt and healed in my body instead? Where are you trying to logic your way out of pain? What might happen if you softened into it instead? What's a story I keep telling myself about who I am or what I deserve in relationships? And where do I think that story came from? Be honest, was it something modeled to you? A belief you picked up as a kid? Something that used to protect you? What would it look like to give my nervous system permission to stop bracing and to start trusting? Try to picture it, the posture, the breathing, the vibe of that version of you who isn't constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. If I could speak to the part of me that still feels scared, what would I say to her? And what does she need to hear from you? Let yourself write without judgment. You don't need perfect answers. You just need to be honest. This is about building a relationship with yourself that's based on truth, not performance. And again, if now's not the time to journal, come back to this when you can. The prompts are in the show notes. So, here's what I want you to remember. If mindset hasn't worked for you, it's not because you failed, it's because you're ready to go deeper. You are ready to heal at the level of your nervous system, your body, your soul. You're ready to stop thinking your way out of pain and start feeling your way into safety. This isn't about fixing yourself or getting it right. This is about finally letting yourself be whole. You're not starting over, you're rising up from a new layer. And that's brave as hell. You're not broken, you're just remembering who you were before the world taught you to disconnect. All right, love. If this episode resonated with you, if something clicked or stirred or maybe softened, I want to invite you to go deeper. Inside my 12-week coaching container, Healing Her, we do exactly this work: somatic healing, energy work, emotional release in a safe and deeply supported space. It's not a course, it's not mindset coaching, it's a full body transformation. If that speaks to you, check the show notes and book a free discovery call with me. We'll talk about what you're holding, what you're ready to release, and how we can walk this healing journey together with clarity, compassion, and actual results. You deserve that. All right, until next time, take care of your heart, take care of your body, and your energy. I'll meet you back here next week.